Hi guys, welcome to this video on May in Bloom. First of all, welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you find more of what resonates with you here. In this video, I am sharing a bit of my settling in process since moving to the south of France in the countryside. There's still a lot to get used to and a lot to explore, but overall, life has felt very normal, very easy to get used to, and I think that's also because we have been in the area, though not settled, for a few months, so it's been easy to adapt to this particular little village that we live in. And today I just wanted to take you on a few of those spaces that I'm exploring, readjusting to, and my small strategies in getting acquainted with the space, with the way of life of this new chapter.
Je voudrais du soleil vert, des dentelles et des théières, des photos de bord, de mer dans mon jardin d'hiver. Je voudrais de la lumière, comme en Nouvelle-Angleterre, des photos de bord, de mer dans mon jardin d'hiver. Ta robe fleur sous la pluie de novembre, mes mains qui courent, je n'en peux plus de t'attendre. Les années passent, qu'il est loin l'âge tendre. Nul ne peut nous entendre. Je voudrais du Fred Astaire, revoir un lac décoré. Je voudrais toujours te plaire dans mon jardin d'hiver. Je veux déjeuner par terre, comme le monde des golfes clairs. T'embrasser les yeux ouverts dans mon jardin d'hiver. Ta robe blanche sous la pluie de novembre, mes mains qui courent, je n'en peux plus de t'attendre. Les années passent, qu'il est loin l'âge tendre. Nul ne peut pa, inukoy pa ng katahimikan. Sabihin mo sa'kin, kailan ako maaari di tayo ayos ngayon, makulimlim ang panahon, umasa na lang tayo, matatapos din ang bagyo. Darating ang araw na kakalimutan din natin.
My strategy for making friendships in this new environment, the good thing is that we know now this is going to be more or less the radius of our hopefully future forever home. Forever is such a strong word, guys, you know what I mean, but like in the sense of the next phase that we are slowly enjoying building, which is to be able to save up enough to get some land and get a home. And we don't know if we want to renovate or just buy everything done. We will have to see, depending on how everything else goes, but we know more or less we're going to stay in this environment around here because we love the area, we love the climate and the landscape and also the cultural values. The other day I signed up for Bumble BFF. It's the same app I used for the first time when I was in Barcelona, and I felt like I had some really good outcomes with that. I made some really dear friends that I'm still friends with to this day. A lot of them also moved away from Barcelona, but we stayed in touch. And I also have my real friends that are already established, that now that we're more settled, like one thing that was really important, for example, is having a guest room that we can have people over. And I'm excited now that the summer is coming to have a few guests coming. But in the meantime, while I am here, I have to build my own community. I think also another part of building community is realizing that as a person, I don't actually need a lot of interaction with friends or other people. Yet I do appreciate like a good, healthy amount, and I want people to go to events with, to share ideas with, like beyond what I do online. But I also really love my own space. I love to work on my own projects. I am somebody who's really happy also just hanging out with myself and working on my projects, following my little routines. Like I can feel a lot of joy and satisfaction, especially because I'm also with my partner. Like even if I don't go out and socialize with people, at the end of the day, she comes home and she has so many stories to share with me. I get to experience those through her. And also then on the weekend, we do things together, we go places together. So that's really nice. And for her already, she has started to establish more of a community. Like she's found a group to go to for capoeira, like which is something that's so important to her. She's been doing that for many years, and so she's built. And if you know anything about capoeira, like it's a very community-based kind of activity, especially the kind of capoeira that she practices. But it gives you access to a lot of people who have a lot of things in common. Like we get invited to things, so you have the opportunity to go to other events connected or adjacent to capoeira. So that's really nice and cool. But I also need to create my own little community, so I am doing that. And Bumble BFF is one where I'm doing that because I had a lot of good success last time. The weird thing is like dating for friendships is so interesting. It's so weird because we don't have like practice or guides or anything. It's weird to swipe yes and no to people. Like just you look at their pictures, you read their bio, and then you're like, no, yes. It's that part is really weird. even though I get like that's the whole point of it, it does feel weird to be saying yes, no, like to just random people. But yeah, so wish me luck. I'll let you know, keep you updated on that. And then I'm also thinking a lot about starting micro events or looking into maybe creating micro events. Another thing I wanted to share on the community pod is I have made a big effort to not just exist in this little village that we live in, but to make effort to talk to people. Like, don't just go to the supermarket, like talk to people beyond bonjour, da da da. The other day I had such a Belle day, like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And it was just everybody, because the sun is like properly out, so everybody feels really good about it. So everyone was just like, bonjour, bonjour. And then people like delivering produce, like the bakery was like smelling of like new baked bread. And just I was in this moment, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm having a little Belle moment, even though like I try my best to never over romanticize my life in France, because I feel like too many people do that, and France is so much more than, you know, all of that. But that moment felt like, wow, that was really cute. I talked to the people that work at the bakery, and I think it's a mom and daughter duo, and I've asked them for their names. I've shared my name, and I do little chit chats with them in French. So it's very, very, very special, because I have to put a lot of effort to make it happen. And also we have like a package lady. She works at a place that is half secondhand store or like little nicks and knacks. And then also she handles all the packages to the little village. So I also now know her name. She knows my name. Basically, her and I also talk. We try the best we can in the French I can master right now. So small stuff like that. I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on in the little village. And I'm trying not to be an observer, but a participant in the community I am living in. And I'm going to keep trying to do that and see where that leads. But yeah, so those are my pursuits so far in community and friendship building. Wish me luck. Look, they're eating the puppies, all the flowers. Aren't you? Oh, you're a cutie. He's eating all the flowers. Okay, there is like a party happening not far from here. You might hear some of the party music being played now, but hopefully you can still hear me. I love this area. It's really cute, surrounded by olive trees. This is very common for this area. Olives grow pretty well here. There's a lot of good olive oil, a lot of good pestos, all of that good stuff. You would think that those things would be much more cheaper because you're here, but I mean, it depends. If you can get yourself hooked up with producers, and local producers, because apparently here, even if you have a small piece of land and you grow your own olives, then you don't have to process them yourself. You just bring them, like you collect them and bring them to a place where olive oil is processed. So like they weigh how much olives you did pick, and then you get olive oil. So you might not get exactly olive oil from your place unless that's specifically when you come, that's the batch. You just get the equivalent. I aspire one day to be able to do that. What I've learned a lot about so many places in the South is their values and way of living with the land. In all places in Europe, like even in Western Europe, but I feel like you might actually experience that a bit more in Eastern Europe, and especially if you go to the countryside, where there's still like a huge heritage of land wisdom and people fighting to return more to natural ways of living with land. And it's really inspiring to see, but it's inspiring to see what kind of people are when they are more in tune with the land. You know, I always talk about decolonization and returning to ways of living that feel more authentic and nourishing and holistic. And living in places like with people or like with community where that also feels a bit more natural is really, really, really an important part of that. It makes it easier, basically. The weird balance, however, especially if you're trying to achieve that in Europe, is that if you move to the countryside, if you're living in rural areas, you might end up also living with people who have very limited ideas of the world. So hitting that great balance is a form of alchemy. That's why when we were choosing where to live, we wanted somewhere where there was like not stagnant energy or a stagnant sense of identity, an allowance of different perspective or different ways of living. So we are perfectly between two big cities that also have a lot of young people. We were traveling all around like different parts of Europe. When we started focusing on France, we wanted to live in different parts of the South just to see what kind of areas really feel aligned with the energy that we feel like we can thrive in the most, but also energy that won't be tiring or feel like you're pushing against a wall. So for the work we do, like my partner is a sound therapist and French folk musician, and she's also a social worker, and she combines all of those things together. And I work with holistic living, sovereignty, decolonization, womanism, and I wanted a place where I wasn't only able to do those things online, but where there could be like an opening in the area I lived in or in the environment I lived in that could cultivate that as well. And I feel like this place, because it's between two very lively cities, but you still have pockets of nature, of countryside, much calm, and filled with beautiful walks, beautiful scenery that for us is very important. It's one of the gifts we had during the travel, how much we feel like our nervous systems truly thrive in spaces that are filled with nature, that are more slow paced, that are just kind to our rhythms as people. So having a balance of that, because I think people can really romanticize just moving to the countryside, but as a person of color, it's never just that easy, especially if you're also like an Afro-European or like come from that background, a Black person growing up and living in Europe. Choosing your version of a countryside in Europe is going to require you to have different criteria than white people, whom are the majority of people maybe who'll be talking about it in Europe, about like places they go to settle in more sunshine or more nature, more countryside, more local living. So that was very intentional for us, like to think about it, and having 2.5 years of living and traveling and tuning in and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, doing workaways for a few months in different parts of France and living with people who had made that choice, which I would always recommend. It's like one of the best ideas we ever had. Like live with people who live in the areas that you dream of living and ask them questions, ask them about how it is to live there, about the prices of properties, of issues, the cons and pros, what would they do differently if they had the same opportunity, basically. So then we learned a lot from that, and we're still learning. Like, it's not a finished deal, but we feel like that was such a good thing to experience, because we're like, oh wow, like this feels good. But after that was maybe a year or so being on the road, we were like, okay, maybe we don't want to be that secluded. Maybe we don't want to be that off-grid. And also, we have a lot of family that doesn't live anywhere near here, that we would like it to be easy for them to visit or for us to go visit them. So then we're like, okay, so we need to be around somewhere that has a lot of good access to other places, that has access to culture, to diversity, different ways of thinking. A lot of people think that places in Europe, like for example, France, is a monolith, but it's made of different tribes, a different nation to the bigger thing that now we call like France, right? That's why I always say, like, what happened to Africa or South America, like all of these things, Asia, they had practiced them and perfected them on the continent here first. Continent, I'm trying also not to say that anymore because it's actually Eurasia. Europe is not a continent of itself. It's also another part of geopolitical power play. But so in Eurasia, in Western Eurasia, basically, just having an idea of the culture here specifically, just like when I was in Barcelona, I lived in the area that is like Catalan, and I lived with a Catalan lady, and I had learned about the Catalonia and their resilience work against the monolith idea of what Spain should be. And they were very proud people that wanted to keep their ways of life. And also I found them also more understanding and sympathetic to struggles against imperialism and colonialism. And they also then understand racism and stuff like that easy. It's kind of like the Irish, you know, which are to this day my favorite Caucasians. But they are that because of what they've experienced under British occupation. Finding places where people kind of align or understand the struggle to a certain degree, or the desire to return to something more authentic, something more liberating, is something that we thought was really, really important for us. And living in this particular area that has that heritage, that has like a different way of seeing the world. We lived with a lady when we were doing Workaway who really embodied that idea, really embodied those values. And it was like, we could really understand each other when you talk about imperialism, when you talk about sovereignty, when you talk about colonialism, because they have a way of relating to that because they've experienced similar things even here in Europe. It all just expands your understanding, and it helps you also better navigate the places that might feel more authentically you, or you could feel more balanced or feel less of a compromise to the ideals that are important to me if I am to stay in Europe, if I am to stay in this country, that at least there is that layer of similarities in values and experiences and in sovereignty work. So that I think is really cool. I think I'm gonna chill a bit, I'm gonna write a bit, and then wait for the sun to settle, and then I'll go back home. I've had such a cute day, just a solo day. I might do some baking when I get home because I'm craving cake, but I'm not sure.
We might kiss. We are alone. When nobody's watching, we might take it home. We might make out. Nobody's there. It's not that we're scared, it's just that it's delicate. Show what you feel.
This is, and I look at you almost like a case study.
Sorrows with the
These are almond, guys. It's an almond tree. Isn't that cool? Just randomly, lots of almond trees here.
place
So today is Sunday. It's around 26 degrees today, and so we're gonna go for a hike. And the hike or the goal, whoa, guys, this is life in the village, like in the countryside. You need to be okay with bugs. So I want to go for a hike, but it's a very intentional hike because the other day I wanted to go to one of the towns nearby and I wanted to take public transport, and one of the options that gave me more options was the village close to the village where we live has a train that goes to that city. So but I would have to walk or take a taxi, but the walk is almost like 50 minutes. So the goal today, since it is Sunday, and on Sunday I usually like to go for a good hike, spend time in nature during the day, I thought that's a great thing to do because, like I mentioned, all the villages around are connected through like really nice natural areas. You can walk towards them. So I'm gonna go visit this other village just to get a feel of the route and how far and how long and far it is, so that I can have that as an option when I want to go to the city or a city that I know how to do that. So that's the goal. I have a backpack with water, banana, some nuts. In total, it shouldn't take me more than, I guess, 2 hours to go and come back. And I also took a book and something to sit on in case I'm like, oh, this is a nice view, let's enjoy it a bit. But I'm also happy just to walk and come back. So that's also part of living in the countryside and things you might have to do sometimes, like figure out how to walk to the nearest public transport. And it's not just a little 5-minute or 10-minute walk, like it can be a full almost hour. But I don't mind it because, like, as you guys know, I love walking. So it's not convenient, but as long as it's not something I have to do every day to go to an office job, I don't mind. So this is one of the things that I have to get used to in this new way of living in the countryside. But I've already been prepared for this. Like, I've shared on my Substack that I used to live in the countryside when we first moved to Denmark, so I know the life of a hourly bus and also walking very far to get to public transport. If you don't drive, and it's in me, I can do it. And I also come from a long line of villages, so I don't mind. It's almost also a fun way to explore the area around. Enjoy. Look at all that bloom, like there's just flowers everywhere. It's so pretty. So yeah, let's do it. Here, and it's taken me, funny enough, exactly almost 40 minutes to get here. No, almost 50 minutes to get here, so that was on time. Now I know I can get here in time and then take the train right from here. It's perfect. So that was a good hike or walk. We are now almost home. So I'm gonna get home. If I find a cute spot, I might sit and just, marvel at life before going inside. But that wasn't an awful walk. I can definitely do that. I can definitely walk to the town with the train, and I saw where the train was. I saw how much it cost. So now that's part of my possibilities while staying here. If ever I want to go and explore different places, and I could see like it had a lot of destinations that I didn't even know were possible from here. So I mean from here from an hour from where I was. So all of that just makes me feel like it will be more than doable. So that was a mission accomplished on that part. And at home I'm thinking I would really love to have some baked potatoes. Like I'm really craving baked potatoes, and maybe like a spinach kind of sauce stew. So I'm gonna see what we have and whip up something for that. And others just enjoy the rest of the Sunday relaxing. I put up a video a few days ago on allowing ourselves to be ugly, and I'm really pleased with how people have received it. I have another video I want to follow up with, or like I want to expand on the subject, but more on the different worlds of beauty, on allowing yourself to be ugly, which doesn't mean that you see yourself as ugly, but to not be under the tyranny of beauty and not believe that you can only exist, you're only worthy of existing, or your highest value is how pleasing or beautiful that people find you. I think that that's the biggest part of the message. And the way to do that is really, really, really unproblematize being ugly. Like, don't see it as offensive. Don't see it as it's whatever. It's in the eye of the beholder. It's just a concept that people make a judgment based on because of so many other factors, like I shared. So that was the biggest point in that video. Like, allow yourself to be fully, not just only worthy according to how beautiful you think you are. But yeah, but I look forward to the next part of that series, because I feel like those are subjects that are very important to talk about as women, just in general, how we see ourselves, kind of de-influencing ourselves from the dominant narrative that is very capitalistic and very patriarchal and very Eurocentric, so that we can connect to forms of seeing ourselves and loving ourselves that cannot be sold or used against us, I think that's always much more empowering and gives us more sovereignty over our lives. So, okay, I'm almost home now. I can't wait for all of these plants to be in season. Like this is a fig tree. There's so many fig trees, so many blackberry trees, so many mulberry trees I found as well. Just all of these things that I'm excited to forage in the summer. So that's another fun part of living in a place that has a lot of natural spaces, wilder natural spaces that you get to eat. And sometimes you see all of these. So these are all vineyards. There's so many patches of vineyards, and during summer that's also something I like to do. Oh my god, look. Oh, you didn't see the gecko. Oh no, she's there. You see? Oh, I just missed her. Yeah, so I definitely am looking forward to sampling the year's output, the good produce of the year. Like mama put the sweet patala over, like how you say you do it. Just have some sweet potato, some onions, and some peppers,
mildly spicy peppers. And I'm also gonna add some garlic. Just put that in the oven. And that would be dinner. Done.
When it comes to making a living, I am mostly focusing on the projects I've always been working on, but I'm also wanting to be intentional with improving my French to a level where that would also open up more possibilities. For now, I am enjoying just creating things at home, working on my book, working with clients with my sessions, dreaming of micro events more aligned with holistic decolonial sovereign living, and also learning a lot about the French history in those spaces. There is a lot of diaspora here, especially from the places that were colonized by France in Africa, and one of the cities we don't live so far from is Marseille. There's interesting histories and stories and perspectives to explore there as well. In regards to the work around decolonization, holistic living, womanism, so I'm quite interested to see how all of that will unfold and what I can learn from, what I can add to the work I do, what I can contribute to. So that is an ongoing mission. Otherwise, guys, thank you for spending another moment with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video on Main Blue. Take care. Bye.